Hey, it's Kevin. Thanks so much for coming by for another Road Warrior. Here we are, final Road Warrior of the year called 2020, of the year that I'm calling the lost year. I don't know if I'll be alive for another 20, 30, 40 years. I don't know how long it'll be. But I know they'll come up with a term for the year 2020 for what it was. Because now that a vaccine is starting to get out to people, now that we've got hope of getting a vaccine in the next 3 to 4 months, things will start to get back to some sense of normal. The economy will start picking up a little bit. I'll feel more comfortable going out and going to restaurants again. I'll feel more comfortable going out and spending more time with friends and getting back to a normal routine. I don't necessarily know if the economy will get to be normal again, but that'll take time, but things will happen. It may take a year or 2 or 3, but those things happen just throughout life. But I think, in my mind, 2020 is always, it's not going to be called the COVID year, but as we talk about it, the lost year. Because really, we all lost life. We all just kind of, or at least most of us, hunkered down, didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything. To look at 2020, there is nothing positive other than I survived. There weren't any good trips. There weren't any good times. I mean, my wife and I basically went to visit one family friend, my buddy across town and his wife. We stayed socially distant, and that was probably in June or July, when we really thought it wouldn't get worse again, when we really thought we were coming out of it and things were slowing down back before it started picking back up. It's just, I'm not angry. When you look at the people who lived through the early 1900s, if there were people like my grandmother was born in like 1911. She survived the pandemic, the Spanish flu pandemic of 1917, 18, 19, survived the Depression, survived World War II. You want to talk about being inconvenient? Like literally once a decade in her life, there was something inconvenient. The inconvenience in my life, in my 50 plus years on this earth, can't compare. Oh yeah, the gas shortage. Ooh, that was bad. I couldn't get gas but every other day, and then I had to stand in long lines. Okay, I didn't have to stop eating certain foods. I didn't have to turn off lights. With the technology we've got now, it's not been that bad. It's been not fun, but it's not been horrible. And yes, I've lost a ton of income this year. And yes, I've had to take loans with the government. And yes, I've had to dip into my savings. But if that's the worst thing, I can just pretend it was a bad business year. I made a stupid business decision. It's not like I'm bankrupt. So while it's not been a great year, from that standpoint, it's not been bad. But the lost year of 2020, it's truly just lost. There are no highlights. There's nothing. I can't tell you anything about it. My wife's been working from home now since like March 13th, and I love the fact that she's here, and I love the fact is, I don't have to worry about her on the roads getting injured or in an accident or anything like that, or any car problems or anything. Nashville's become quite, the bad traffic spot. We don't worry about that now. We barely go anywhere. I can't wait as I go through in the next couple of days and go through my annual mileage for business purposes to see how few miles we put on our cars. I think my wife's gotten gas in her car, and she goes and uses her car once or twice a week to go to the grocery store and do an errand or something like that. I don't think she's gotten gas in her tank but 3 times since March. Yeah, 3 tankfuls, because she doesn't drive that far when she goes to the grocery store or goes to Target or Walmart or wherever it is in her car. If we go anywhere, or we're going out and running errands or going out to a drive-through or going to the mail, it's in my car. And it's not like I've put on the miles this year in my car that I normally would. It's been a weird year. It's been a lost year. And hopefully things will truly get better as the calendar page turns to 2021. You and I both know that doesn't really matter. Go back to last year's Mason Minute. As I always said, the calendar doesn't matter. And boy, the first couple of months were kind of okay. But then whammo, February, March hit, and it was all changed. And it was all different. But we're all surviving. At least those of us here right now are. And that's the most important thing. A lost year for so many in so many ways. Back next week, another Road Warrior in the new year. KevinMason.us, YouTube, Facebook, up on the website. Wherever you watch them, love the fact that you do. Love the fact when you come back, subscribe, bookmark, all that kinds of stuff. Don't care. Love it when you do come by. And again, if you make a weekly habit of it on Sundays or whenever it's convenient for you, I love that too. See you next week. Happy New Year. Fingers crossed. See you.